The movie starts in the year 2005, showing military officers discussing some experiments. One officer mentions that they can't use their best officers, pilots, and soldiers because there are no wars happening at that time. He says that before any potential war, their best people either retire or die. He adds, "We really need these top people for times of crisis." So they created a device that can freeze a human body and put the person to sleep. When needed, they can wake the person up. The person in the chamber wouldn't age. However, they have never tested this experiment on humans and need 2 volunteers. They find a man from their department named Joy. Joy is a loser without a family. The second volunteer is a woman named Rita, who is very good at deceiving people. The officers choose them because if the experiment fails and they die, no one will miss them. Since the experiment is secret, they take Joy and Rita to the experiment room and ask them to enter the chamber. Rita panics, but Joy reassures her that the experiment was tested on animals and is safe. They both fall asleep in the chamber. A few days later, the head of the experiment is arrested for smuggling drugs. Then a bulldozer came and demolished the experiment site, but Joy and Rita were still asleep inside. Time passed, and over the years, human intelligence and common sense declined. Eventually, it's the year 2505, where all the people are foolish and lack basic common sense. In 2505, the sleeping chambers of Joy and Rita ended up on a garbage heap. A garbage truck dumped its load, causing the heap to shift and one chamber to fall into the house of a man named Frito. The chamber opened automatically, and Joy emerged, extremely tired from sleeping for the past 500 years. Joy asked Frito about the military base, but Frito, confused, replied, "What base?" and kicked Joy out of his house. Joy was bewildered and began asking people about the location of the base, but they responded with insults. His old-fashioned way of speaking stood out because in 2505, everyone spoke with lots of cussing, and no one found it offensive. Thinking he might be sick from sleeping so long, Joy went to a hospital for a checkup. The hospital was filthy and hadn't been cleaned in years. When Joy tried to drink water, he got a company-branded drink instead. Frustrated, he asked someone for water, but the man replied, "Water? Like the kind used in toilets?" Joy clarified. He wanted drinking water. The man laughed and walked away. Joy tells the doctor about his problems, and the doctor asks him to put his hand inside a scanner. While doing so, Joy notices a paper stating the year 2505. Realizing he has somehow traveled 500 years into the future from 2005, he looks out the window and confirms his time travel. The doctor, noticing that Joy doesn't have a tattoo identifying him, presses the emergency button to call the police. In this future, everyone has a tattoo for identification, similar to an identification card. The police arrest Joy and take him to a machine to get a new identity. After scanning him, the machine provides a number and says, "This is your number." Joy responds, "Not sure," which leads the machine to register his name as Not Sure. Joy ends up with a tattoo of Not Sure on his hand. Next, Joy is taken to a place where they test his IQ to assign him work in jail, according to his intelligence. He is asked a difficult question. Imagine you have a bucket with 2 gallons of water and another bucket with 4 gallons of water. How many buckets do you have? Joy easily answers 2. Despite passing the test, he is sent to jail but somehow manages to escape. In the following scene, Rita emerges from her sleeping chamber. She continues to deceive people and steals their money. Meanwhile, Joy returns to Frito's house. He explains to Frito that in his time, people were on the verge of inventing a time machine. He then asks Frito if he knows anything about it, on which Frito replies yes, and then says that the machine is present here. Joy then asks him about the location, but Frito asks why should he help him, and what will he benefit? Joy then promised that he will transfer lots of money to his account once he went back to his original time, and he will be rich overnight. Frito then agrees and decides to take Joy to that time travel machine. But he found Rita on his way, and then the three of them move on their way. Just when they were on their way, Joy was scanned, and again police came and arrested him. But this time, Joy was not taken to the police station. Rather, he was taken to the White House, where he was told that he is the man with the highest IQ in this world. And the answer he gave in the jail was the hardest question of this world. Then we get to see the president, who tells the world that no one needs to worry because they now have the smartest man on this earth. The main problem in this future world was a severe shortage of food grains. The people hoped Joy could help solve this issue because he was much smarter than them. They took Joy to their farm, where the grains weren't growing. Joy enlisted Frito and Rita's help, planning to find a time machine to return to their original time. However, when Joy looked at Frito's map, he realized Frito was also very idiot. They would have to find the time machine on their own to get back home. Joy began inspecting the farm and discovered that they were using a company's drink instead of water to try to grow the grains. This was why the grains wouldn't grow. He told them to use water instead of the drink, but in this world, no one drank water anymore. Everyone, including kids and elderly people, consumed the company's drink. Joy explained that they needed to use water for the grains to grow, but no one believed him, since they were all quite foolish. To convince them, Joy pretended to talk to the grains, claiming the grains told him they needed water. The people finally understood and started using water on the farm. However, even after many days, the grains still didn't grow. Meanwhile, the drink company suffered huge losses because people stopped buying their product and many employees were fired. These fired employees then demanded that Joy be punished for causing the company's downfall. In the end, Joy was sentenced to death. The day of his punishment arrived, and the entire world watched the event live. Meanwhile, Rita and Frito discovered that the grains Joy had planted had started to grow. They hurried to the place where Joy was to be executed, bringing a cameraman to record the successful farm. They broadcasted this footage live, and when the world saw the growing grains, Joy's punishment was canceled. He had saved their food supply. Joy told Rita that they should now use the time machine to return to their time, but Rita refused, saying she loved this world. The president then declared that Joy would be made the vice president. Joy, however, expressed his desire to go back to his own time. This made everyone sad because they had pinned all their hopes on him. One by one, they told Joy about all the problems they were facing and how they wouldn't be able to solve them without him. Touched by their pleas, Joy decided to stay. A few days later, Joy married Rita and became the President of America. The film ends with Joy, Rita, and Frito riding a fake time travel machine, a toy invented by the low IQ people of this world. So it wasn't a real time machine because of the low IQ peoples. Movie end here. Hope you like this short comedy movie. Please like the video and subscribe my channel.